Hello book nerds! Welcome to Bookshelf Bunny. I'm Kim and this is day 23 of Vlogmas. Only 2 more days to go. I know a lot of people only go to the 24th, but I'm celebrating Christmas on both of those days, 24th and the 25th, so I will be going until then. Merry Christmas! So I still haven't quite finished Shape of Memories by Christopher Hellmeister. About 90% done. I didn't get a chance to read as much today as I had hoped. My work day was kind of full of shenanigans. You know, a Friday, the Friday before Christmas, and the boss is away. We're all a little bit hyper, and I didn't get a lot of reading done on my breaks. It is what it is. So instead of talking about that book, I thought I would talk about my new and exciting e-reader. So you may have, I don't know if I've mentioned it here or not, actually. I don't know if I've mentioned, but earlier this year I was able to get a Kobo. I was able to earn a little extra cash and I put it towards a Kobo. I did a lot of extensive research between Kobo and Kindle. I knew I wanted an e-reader. And ultimately I knew I wanted both, but the one I was going to use more was going to be the one I paid more money for. You know, better quality, better features, etc. So I did a lot of research to decide which one I was going to use my money's on. And I ended up going with the Kobo for that. And I went with Kobo mostly because I can access the library with Kobo. You cannot on Kindle, at least not in Canada. In Canada, we have the Overdrive/Libby app, which allows us to borrow ebooks from our local library branches. And I can do that with Kobo. Kobo is compatible with Libby/Overdrive. Kindle is not. So I did not go for Kindle initially. However, I knew I still wanted one, and I was going to bide my time looking for a deal because I didn't want to pay a lot of money in something that I'm not going to use as often as the Kobo. And I lucked out. I came across a sale on Amazon where they took about 30% off and gave a $10 credit towards the purchase of an ebook. So yay, but also and this is what really sold me, at the same time that deal was going on, I also happened to have a couple of gift cards from my work. And I decided I was going to just go for it. So I ended up getting the Kindle, and it just arrived today. This is the Kindle. So excited. The Kindle is the Paperwhite. So it's like the Paperwhite 2021 version. So it's a little bit older, and it doesn't have as much memory as the Kobo. The Kobo has 16 gigs, whereas the Paperwhite has 8. They're both waterproof, which is nice. The trade-off with Kindle, so Kobo comes with the library. I can borrow ebooks. Kindle doesn't let me borrow ebooks from the library, but it does have a little section on it that will link me directly to my Goodreads account, which is kind of neat. That's sort of convenient, and when I finish a book on my device I can immediately access it in Goodreads and rate it and mark it as read, etc. So that's kind of neat, but it's not as cool as being able to borrow library books right onto my e-reader. Still, for the price that I paid, which was ultimately like, I think it was $20 of my own money with the sale plus the gift cards that I had, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. So I loaded it up. I tried it out for a little while, and so far the biggest differences that I've noticed offhand, the Kindle is a little bit bigger. So the Kobo has a 6-inch screen, whereas the Kindle has a 6.8-inch screen, so it is a smidge bigger, a little bit more space to read off of. And I mean, the 6-inch is fine with me. The small doesn't matter to me. I kind of like that I can tuck it into my purse really easy. And I don't think that that's going to be a whole lot different with the slightly bigger size. So that doesn't really matter to me, but there is a difference there in the size. Of course, there's the storage, 16 gigs versus 8 gigs. And the other thing that stood out to me right away is where the power button is. So with the Kobo, the power button's on the back there, and it's actually kind of indented, so it's hard to like accidentally tap it. Whereas the Kindle's power button is right on the bottom. It's right there. And it kind of sticks out a smidge. So I could really easily turn it off or put it into sleep mode by accident. So those I noticed right away. The other thing is, while they both have dark mode and they both have adjustable amber lights, and those amber lights can be set according to a timer. So like if at 9 o'clock I don't want the bright lights to bother me if I'm reading at night or whatever, I can set it to automatically go to the amber lighting. The biggest difference is this one, the Kobo. The lighting adjusts automatically. So if I'm reading outside and then I bring it inside, it's going to adjust for me to a better lighting. Whereas this one won't do it automatically. I will have to access the settings and adjust it to my liking on my own. So those are another difference that I noted. But I mean, ultimately, they're both very, very similar. I mean, obviously their interfaces are different designs, different companies. Library, no library. Goodreads, no Goodreads. But I mean, the screen itself is almost identical. They both very much look like paper. It's almost reading off of a paperback, almost. They're nearly glare-free. You can kind of see they do pick up a smidge of glare, but not hardly at all. So that's fine. That's useful. It'll be great for reading outside. That's exciting. So I mean, they're pretty comparable. I'm really excited about these. Again, I'm going to be using this one more. This one cost me $159, and apart from all the sales that I got on this one's regular price was $129 Canadian dollars, FYI. So I mean, this one's quality is better than this one, I think, but I think they're both going to have their uses. Now, the reason that I wanted both was because of this. I've mentioned before that I have a vendetta against the iPad. This is my iPad. The first thing you're going to see is all the glare. That's kind of tough to read off of, but I mean, this was my e-reader for years. I got into the iPad world with an iPad mini, and it's closer to the size of the Kindle, which was convenient for sticking in my purse and taking with me, and I loved my iPad mini. But then Apple did me a dirty. Apple decided that they weren't going to support my iPad mini anymore. And so gradually over time it became less and less usable. And I was really distressed because that was my e-reader. I didn't have another e-reader. When my iPad mini went, so did my e-reading, unless I wanted to do it on my phone, which is so little. I lucked out, and my husband won a contest, and he won me this fabulous iPad, a bigger 10-inch screen iPad. And I've had this for probably 4 years now, and I think my iPad mini was about 5 years old when it stopped being supported by Apple. So I mean, this one's coming up on its lifespan. They're going to do the same thing to this one, and I'm going to be without an e-reader again. So, because I'm not investing in Apple, I'm not giving them any more of my money. I'm not. Sorry, not sorry. I don't like their whole platform. So no more Apple for me. So when this goes, it's it. That's it. No more iPad. So the downside is I have a whole lot of reading apps all in one place on the iPad, which is incredibly convenient. But the main reading apps, of course, were the Kobo and Kindle. So Kindle will let me read indie books very, very easily because Kindle is far more geared towards self-published authors. And I read a lot of indie books, so keeping up with a Kindle was a must. But in terms of getting an actual e-reader, well, this one won because of the library aspect. The Kobo that I have is the Clara 2E, and it's made out of a crap ton of recycled materials, which was also kind of a selling point for me. But mostly it's because it let me read ebooks from the library. Let's be real. It's great. I recommend it. I definitely prefer the Kobo to the Kindle, 100% hands down. But for my reading needs, I will also be using this a fair bit. So that's my exciting little mini review and sharing of my fabulous new Kindle that arrived today. Exciting! That's all I wanted to chat about. Fun story, my Kindle wasn't supposed to arrive until in January, or so said Amazon, and then I got like a notification today that told me it was at my house, and it's like -1,000,000 today, and it's an electronic device. So I was like freaking out. I was like, the cold is going to kill my Kindle before I even get to use it. What do I do? Luckily, my dad got off work early today, and he was able to come home and rescue it. And it's fine. I've tried it out, and it hasn't given me any issues. So, whew. All right, book nerds, that's all I got. That's it for me. I'll see you tomorrow.